Greetings, firebolts. That's right, I officially came up with a term for my fans. Or is firebolts copyrighted? Please tell me, because I don't want to be victimized. I think copyright is important. Anyway, today we're looking at the Greek alphabet. In fact, okay, this is alpha, representative A. That's this section is for the uppercase letters, and this section is for the lowercase letters. Note, Greek is not written like right to left. I know Hebrew was, but Greek is not. Anyway, there's alpha, corresponding to A, there's its lowercase, beta, B, gamma, which is C, G, delta, D, epsilon, that represents the short E sound, like egg, excretory, and Mexico. Zeta, that represents the Z sound, Z, 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 Z. Eta, because that's representative of both the long E or H. I don't know. Probably representative of H because it looks like an H. Theta. Theta. The TH sound. Iota. Come on, it looks like an I. Kappa. This thing looks like a K, so it is a K. Lambda. Lambda. If you even rotate it, it sort of looks like an L. No, Kappa just represents the entirety of the K sound, not just the K. There's uppercase, and the smaller K is lowercase. And there's mu too, and there's the lowercase. In fact, this sound letter is actually used for micros. So, microseconds would look like this. That's the lowercase mu. Note, I'm not a Pokemon. There's new. Yes, it's pronounced new, not new. There's also new. No, this is the lowercase nu, not this. That's lowercase eta. There's xi, and yes, I know xi kind of looks like you would kind of expect it to be C, but it's xi. Xi. There's uppercase. In fact, xi is actually where we get the sound X from xi. Although chi looks more like an X, just ignore it. There's Omicron. 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 It's the short O. Pi. There's the uppercase making the pi sound. Although the letter rho looks like a P, the P sound comes from pi. Well, technically it comes from the Hebrew alphabet, which is the ancestor of pi. But trust me, pi is where we get the P from some, not rho. This is the pi, uppercase pi, and that's the pi you're all familiar with. Pi. This is rho. I know you're going to say, hey, I know it looks like a P, but trust me, rho makes the R sound. Resh. Row. So row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a jellyfish, just forget to scream. if you see a jellyfish, what? That's impossible. Oh, Latin invented the J. Fun fact. The Asian letters and the... Anyway, I'm just losing myself here. Fun fact. The Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Arabic all don't use the J sound. And, in fact, the letter J didn't even exist until 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue. It was invented in the 15th century, just not exactly in 1492. So yeah, for over 90% of history, there was no letter J. Now there's a... Just ignore the fact that Chinese, Japanese, and Korean have had a J sound for millennia. Please ignore that. So how would Japan be represented like this? Fun fact, even though the letter J got its shape in the 1500s, it was still one of the greatest examples of the letter J is Jesus. The letter J. Fun fact, the English word for Jesus is J. Actually originated from the original Greek. And in all caps, but in lowercase, it looks like this. But if with proper grammar, it's like this. In fact, even after the letter J, this is pronounced Jesus. Even after the introduction of J, they didn't immediately start pronouncing it as Jesus. They still pronounce it as Jesus. There is a shot of my foot while I'm busy erasing this. Anyway, back to the Greek alphabet. So there's Rho making the R sound. Next up is Sigma. Yes, you already saw me draw Sigma in the Greek alphabet. It makes the S sound. Sigma. And there is Tau. In fact, the T sound in Tau is actually the end of the Hebrew alphabet. Note, the Hebrew alphabet has 22 letters, the Greek alphabet has 24. Tau. Hey, there's someone that goes to the same school as me, whose last name is literally just this letter. Not the letter itself, but its pronunciation. He's also the leader of the Clash Royale clan that I used to be in. But I got kicked from that clan for no reason. Take that, NT. Fun fact, NT is actually symbolic of his name. T stands for Tau, and N stands for... Anyway, for privacy reasons, I'm not going to say his name. This has nothing to do with privacy. Hey, despite what I just said earlier, trust what I say later. This has nothing to do with privacy. I don't need to tell him who he is. He already knows who he is. So if your last name is literally this Greek letter, then boo. There's Upsilon, makes the U sound. I know it looks like a Y, but trust me, it makes the sound. Upsilon. This is the letter Phi. Phi. And that tau and phi are both math terms, and so is pi. Pi is 3.141596. Pi is the circumference of a circle divided by its diameter. Tau is the circumference divided by the radius. And if you've ever seen and phi is the golden ratio. If you've seen a perfect pentagon, it's the distance from point A to point C divided by a line this. Then there's chi. Fun fact, I actually think that chi carried on the legacy of Q from cough. Chi was used to preserve cough off for a long enough time until the Romans came and adopted it into Q. Chi. Then there's psi. Is it psi or psi? It represents, I don't know what sound. And then there's omega. It represents the long O. This looks like a meme's mouth, and this looks like a horseshoe. So what am I going to do? So what does that mean? That means that the ancient Greek person who invented this alphabet, should sue the person who created the meme face for copyright infringement of the letter omega. And now I will recite every single letter of the Greek alphabet. Note, I cannot see it as this camera is blocking my way. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. Anyway, that's the Greek alphabet.